Hello everyone, welcome to the brief decode session for the 67th Year GRIHA Trophy. As we emphasize on the message that sustainability is no longer a luxury but a necessity. In this session, we'll delve deep into this year's trophy brief, unpacking its elements to ensure that you all have a clear understanding of how to proceed on the design process, followed by addressing the queries submitted by under the expert guidance of the GRIHA Council. So now I would like to present all the GRIHA Council members.
Okay. We'll introduce ourselves one by one. My name is Ankit Bhalla and I'm working in the capacity of manager at the GRIHA Council. I'm an architect by my educational qualification. I also have an expertise in the sector of energy efficiency and sustainability. And I have been working in the council from the past 12 years now. Along with me, I have my two other colleagues from the GRIHA Council. I'll let them introduce themselves.
So hi everyone, I am Ponchi Borwa. I am working as a project officer in GRIHA Council, and as a background also I have an architecture degree.
So moving further, hello everyone. My name is Srishti Gaur. I'm also working here at the capacity of a project officer and have been associated with GRIHA Council from last 5 years. I am also an architect by profession. So handing it over.
Yes, we also have with us experts from North India, and they will be giving their brief introduction.
So thank you, Ankit. And this is KK Sarpal. I'm from North India. We are the manufacturers of plaster boards, and I've been there in the industry for 35 years and primarily focusing on drywall construction. And we are engineer by qualification. I will hand it over to my colleague JK Tiwari.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. This is JK Tiwari. By qualification, I am civil engineer. And I am Knopf Industries Limited, which is the manufacturer of gypsum plasterboard for dry construction techniques. So I am in this industry since last 30 years. So currently we will handle all the queries and questions by you. Thank you.
Okay. So this is a brief introduction of the team who's going to be taking off with the brief decoding session. I believe the entire details of this year's design brief has already been shared with you. And with respect to that, we have also received from the NASA Council a set of some questions which you have certainly after going through the brief. So we have designed a brief presentation for you where we will be taking you down with certain slides to explain you that what the design brief for this year is. And at the same time, we also have experts from North India who are basically going to take you down with the concepts of drywall construction. So to start off with this GRIHA NASA Trophy decoding session for the year 2024-2025, I welcome all the participants and I wish them all the luck. So let's go one by one. I'll give you a first brief introduction about GRIHA, what GRIHA is and what does it do. So GRIHA stands for Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. It is basically a tool to facilitate design, construction, operation of a green building and in turn measure the greeniness of the buildings which are coming up in the country. GRIHA Council works on a motto, what gets measured gets managed. This council was established way back in the year 2005 by TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute. In the year 2007, it was adopted by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, and since then it was declared as the National Green Building Certification System of the country. GRIHA has got a lot of recognitions, not just on the national forums, but also on the international forums. GRIHA has been endorsed by MNRE as it was declared as the National Rating System. Not just that, international organizations like ELGOR, United Nations, UNFCCC have endorsed GRIHA at time and interval from the past 2 decades. GRIHA Council has been working specifically, on making a major impact that we are right now seeing on our environment. And with a small footprint of just 5,000 plus buildings registered with us, green buildings certainly registered with us, we have been able to make sure that we have preserved more than 73,000 trees till now. More than 8 lakh trees have been planted till now in the country. These 5,000 buildings have certainly made an energy savings of somewhere close to around 650 gigawatt hour. We have saved almost 104 gigaliters of water till now. and a carbon sequestration of somewhere close to around 8,400 gigatons of CO2 has been absorbed or has been curbed from the atmosphere till now by just these 5,000 plus buildings. Imagine this is just the 4% of the total green buildings, right, or the total construction which is right now coming up in the country. Imagine if all buildings are green, then what massive amount of savings we can make in our society or in our environment. GRIHA Council, has been devised in a program where we rate buildings. Now, rating is something which has been given on a star labeling platform, where we certify buildings from 1 to 5-star level. This is very similar to the star labeling that you see on your AC, fridge, TV, which is given by Bureau of Energy Efficiency in terms of defining the energy efficiency of a particular appliances. On very similar lines, GRIHA certify green buildings on 1 to 5-star label with its different variants that we have. We certify existing building as well as new construction which is coming up in the country. I'll first talk about the new buildings rating systems that we right now have. We have the main rating variant called the GRIHA version 2019, which is applicable to built-up area where the built-up area is above 2,500 square meters. We have another rating variant which has been designed specifically for the affordable housing segment, which is called GRIHA for Affordable Housing, GRIHA AH. This has been primarily designed making sure that the projects which are coming up under the PMAY scheme, which is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme, are sustainable. We also have a rating program for small scale buildings where if you have a built up area less than 2,500 square meters, these buildings are rated and registered under the category of SWA-GRIHA, which is Simple, Versatile, Affordable GRIHA. This is an online tool that we have developed which helps you design as well as rate a green building. We also certify large scale projects and we have a specific rating for it called GRIHA LD, GRIHA for Larger Developments, which is primarily applicable to projects where the site area is above 50 hectares. All the new IITs, IIMs, AIMS, JIPMER campuses, SEZs which are coming up in the country are all registered with us, and some of them in fact are rated by us in this particular category. Very recently, we have also started rating the interior spaces, and a new rating variant, GRIHA for Interior Spaces, have been launched a year back. And certainly, we have also got a very good response in terms of the registrations by in the market. This was all about the new buildings rating portfolio that we carry. Now, I'll specifically talk about the existing building ratings that we offer. There are two rating variants that we offer. One is GRIHA for existing building, which is applicable to any building which is having built-up area above 2,500 square meters. We also have a specific rating program for existing day schools, and this particular program has been very well taken off by Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti as well as Kendra Vidyalayas. We have already certified 485 schools of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti in the country, and 185 schools are certainly going to be rated by us in the next coming financial year by Kendra Vidyalayas. We have also devised another rating program specifically for the smart cities. I believe we all know that there are 100 smart cities which are going to be coming up in the country. In fact, not just 100, but 100 plus 100 smart cities which are going to be coming up in the country. And to make sure that our cities are sustainable, GRIHA for Cities is another rating program that we have launched and which is available on our rating portfolios. Very recently, we have also started, looking at infrastructure rating facilities. And there are two major infrastructure rating manuals that we have very recently launched in our GRIHA summit last year in the month of December. One specific infrastructure is on highways. So we are soon going to be certifying highways. And certainly the second is the ports for shippings. These are the two infrastructure segments which are going to be soon certified by us in the future. Not just that, we have also come up with a new version of version 2019. So now the updated version is version 6. This is right now under scrutiny, and by the end of this particular year, the projects are going to be evaluated in this particular new rating version. Now, specifically, I'm going to talk about what is this year's GRIHA NASA Trophy brief. So this year, NASA Trophy brief has been, emphasized on drywall construction. I believe you all must be aware that the GRIHA NASA Trophy always caters to giving you the opportunity to build up on a live project. we have, continued this legacy, and this year again, we have come up with a live project for you, with a twist of making sure that you face certain challenges to build up your project to come up and strive sustainability at its peak. This year, we have made sure that you design all the construction that you're doing in your particular project for this year's design brief is going to be based on drywall construction. Now, I believe in the set of questionnaires that we have received from the NASA Council, there has been many questions about drywall construction, and to decode that, we have experts with us from North India who are going to be telling you about the details of drywall construction. What is drywall construction? How technically is it possible? What are the climatic factors which affect a drywall construction? What are the challenges that you face while you construct a drywall construction? So these are the kind of questions that you already have, and they are going to be answered by the experts themselves once I complete my presentation. This year, I believe the site which has been given to you is primarily in the outskirts of the Pune region of Maharashtra. The design will be including of following multi-spatial spaces that are not just limited to what we have right now defined in the brief. So this year, basically, you have to design cottages, leisure spaces, resting rooms for people who are going to come to this particular location to relax. So basically, these cottages that you're going to design are also going to serve various other purpose for recreation. Now, it could be, nature viewing decks, it can be restaurants and cafeterias, it could be cultural pavilions, it could be recreational zones, there could be performance spaces, both indoor and outdoor, whatever you feel like. So this year, we have given you full flexibility to design the project based on your own logic. Now, there has been a lot of questions that I see in the questionnaire where you've asked that what is the occupancy, what is the kind of population that we're going to accommodate on this piece of land. So this year we are giving you full flexibility to design the occupancy based on your own logic. Now you can design this entire piece of land for one person, whereas if you find that there is space and you can accommodate 1 lakh people on this piece of land, please go for it. But please make sure that you are not compromising on the sustainability aspect. Now, in the sustainability aspect, land utilization, resource utilization is one of the very key components which has to be addressed in your design. So please be mindful when you define the occupancy on this piece of land. Also make sure that you need to follow the local building bylaws of this particular region. That is something which you need to keep in mind, because as professional architects, when you will be entering into the market, you need to adhere to the government laws, you need to adhere to the regulations. So please be mindful that you are not violating any of these requirements, statutory approval requirements laid out by the government. Now, at the same time, we have also defined a location of the site. So there has been certain questions which have been asked that there are certain high tension wires, there are poles on the site. Please ignore them. These are temporary and they are going to be removed off. So you have to design your structure or your project in such a way, considering that there are no high tension wires which are passing by on your site. So your entire area is is free from any of these hindrances. At the same time, you'll also find that there is a canal which is running right next to you. And this is the plinth area. This is the area which is higher to the area on the other side, which is on the roadside. So there is almost a section of 15 meters, which is a gradient of 15 meters, which is going downstream to the road. So please be mindful when you're designing that all the water that is going to be accumulated on your site is going to be downfalling on the road, which might hamper the runoff from your site to the outer infrastructure. So please be mindful that when you are designing, you are not hampering the atmosphere or the region or the context neighboring to your site. This is something which you need to be mindful when you are designing. Also, please make sure that you have a combination of both open and closed spaces. Whereas how you can design it, we have given you the flexibility to design it the way, the wish you want to. There has also been a question that has been recorded that how do you do a comparative analysis of EPI and LCA. Well, for the comparative analysis of EPI and LCA, and for those who don't understand this particular term, EPI and LCA, I'll just give you a brief. EPI stands for Energy Performance Index, and the unit of EPI is kilowatt hour per meter square per annum. That certainly means that 1 square of my built up area is going to consume X amount of electricity in a span of 1 year. Now, the benchmark numbers have already been defined in the GRIHA manual. So you just refer to the GRIHA manual, which is available on the GRIHA website without any cost. The soft copy is available there. You need to go on the energy section and you will find the EPI values defined for each and every typology of building. Now, this is a recreational space. So the recreational space will have a certain EPI benchmark number with respect to the climate zone where you are right now dealing in with. And this becomes your base case number. And to contradict it or to compare it, you need to perform energy simulations or energy calculations based on the load that you right now have or the proposed load that you have on your site. Now, this load consists of your plug load, which means the amount of energy that is going to be consumed by the appliances that you're going to be installing on your site, plus the HVAC load, that means the heating, ventilation, air conditioning load, which means the load of the air conditioner, the exhaust fans, and the ceiling fans or pedestal fans or wall-hung fans, any form of ventilation force, any sort of ventilation system that you're proposing. In fact, that also takes into account treated fresh air units as well into account, plus the interior lighting consumption. That means the outdoor and the indoor lighting fixtures that you have installed, how much amount of electricity are these fixtures going to consume. Now, when you add all of this and divide it by the total built up area that you have, that ultimately gives you your EPI number. And when we talk about the LCA number, LCA stands for life cycle assessment, which is basically the carbon footprint calculation of your entire project. Now, certainly you have to compare it with a base case, and the base case conditions are already being predefined in the GRIHA manual. Certainly, you need to use simulation softwares like one-click LCA or similar softwares, which will help you quantify these numbers. Of course, one-click LCA is not the only software that you can use. There are other softwares also which are available in the market, and there are educational versions which are also available. You may use any of them to quantify your LCA numbers. If you are not that well acquainted with these sophisticated softwares, you may also walk in with an approach of going for manual calculations. And I believe you may also take assistance and help and guidance from your mentors, from your seniors, from your professors with respect to calculating the LCA number. But this year we are very specific that your LCA calculations and your EPI calculations have to be very precise. And this year the marking is going to be very stringent. So please be mindful that whatever calculations, whatever standard numbers that you're quoting, they have to be from defined standards, whether it be national standards or whether it be international standards. We are also expecting this year that you come up with innovative design techniques, innovative design solutions, not copy pasting of what your seniors have done in the past or what other winners have done in the past. This year we are looking for new innovations in the NASA trophy. And I believe that this year, you guys are going to perform really well, and the competition is going to be very tight this year. I believe the time limit which has been given to you might be a challenge, but certainly this is the first step towards your, professional career. And soon you are going to be, professional architects into the market, and this is the kind of scenario that you're going to face. So I wish you all the best. And now let's head on with a detailed, presentation by the experts from North India. And let's understand that what is drywall construction and how we can, integrate drywall construction in our this year's design brief. Thank you. Sipalji, I'll hand over the mic to you now, and you may, please.
Can you see them?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Agiri, and for giving us the opportunity. So we are from Kanaup, India. So I will try to take you through the products and systems in your presentation. You'll get a fairly large idea on what drywall is and what is the scope. It's a German-based company, and it's not only focusing on plaster boards, which can be used in the interiors. We are also manufacturing of aqua panels, cement boards, which can be used in the exteriors of the wall. So that we offer from interior to exterior solutions, so that you can have designed a building with complete sustainable building solutions. We have got n number of products suiting in the interiors as well as in the exterior applications. We have got three large manufacturing facilities. One is in north in Bhiwadi, the other one is in near Chennai. The second one is in Chennai, that is a jointing compound plant. So we have got two plasterboard manufacturing plants and one jointing compound plant. So, and this is gypsum as a rock. Gypsum as a rock means calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water. Now, these 2 molecules of water is very, very important. Till you are dealing in gypsum, you have to remember this formulation, calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water, because this formula plays a very, very important role when in case of fire, like when you design a fire resistant systems, ceilings, and other applications. Here is a sustainable part. Now, gypsum as a raw material, it's not only we get from the landmines, from the Mother Earth. It also comes from synthetic gypsum. Now, synthetic gypsum is something where we get it from the sulfur dioxide. Currently, it is being released in the air from the thermal power plants. We try the thermal power plants treat it, and residual we get as gypsum, as calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water. So it plays gypsum as a raw material, also plays a very, very important role when we design a building, when we call it that this is a sustainable product, it's a green product. What Knauf can offer? Knauf can offer, number one, is a seamless and modular ceilings. Inside, when you design any kind of an infrastructure, like be it hospitals. Now, for information, the plasterboards or aqua panel systems can be used in any type of buildings. Be it hospital, IT centers, healthcare, or hospitality, or your education, schools, anywhere. So we have got fire-rated ceilings, acoustical ceilings, where you keep a trouble, like where you deal in acoustics, like in studios, like multiplexes or cinema halls. Metal ceilings, then especially ISO 4 design ceilings. Then also on the second part is the performance drywalls. These drywalls it needs no foundation. Drywalls, it starts from the base level, from the ground level, it can go up to 16 meters. That's how drywalls are designed, without any foundation. It can be curved, it can be fire-rated drywalls, it can be impact-resistant drywalls, it can be high acoustics. Third application is the typical when we design buildings, we don't find any ways to use any kind of a wood or fire-resistant materials. It's a beam and column encasement system, if it is a steel structure, completely dry lining system onto the brick walls. We don't need a sand cement plaster or even a gypsum plaster. Then we have got Knauf is also into false flooring, insulation, and roofing systems. But for your information, the fourth part is very, very important, and the second part is important: the interior drywalls and exterior drywalls. Exterior drywalls, it can be false ceiling, it can be drywalls, it can be linings. We design a system, on the exterior of the drywall, which is not a brick block wall. It is completely with a lightweight construction with two cementitious boards on outside and a hollow cavity, and on the inside it is two plaster boards. So you get a lot of thermal insulation, lower thermal insulation, and then you've got a fire and acoustics, and the cavity can be filled with an insulating material if required. So, as far as plasterboards are concerned, there's a huge range of plasterboards. Sheetrock is a brand which you can find it in the market. This is a plain standard plasterboard, which is even approved. And in the other range, it is a moisture resistant plasterboard. When you design your kitchen areas, your washrooms, your wet area application, these plasterboards can be used in drywalls, which is the green color one, the moisture resistant plasterboards. This can be tiled. It can be easily tiled with ceramic tiles or like stones also. On a fire block plasterboard, this is a pink color plasterboard, which is a fire resistant plasterboard. When you're designing a building, when you need a fire resistant solutions, you can use this board as a part of the assembly. I will explain you what the assembly is. FRMR board is a combination of both moist block and fire block boards. The fourth one is a heat block plasterboard. When you use the building in a building, on the top story of the building, you can design this board comes with an aluminum foil at the back side, which reflects heat. Correct? And the fifth board is a multi-stop 3 board, which has got 3 major properties: fire, acoustics, and impact. Good product to be used in the high traffic areas. Now, all these plasterboards are it falls into the sustainable building solutions. You can design all the drywalls, ceilings, beam and column encasement systems, your linings with these walls. The sixth one is an eco block plasterboard. Any kind of a plasterboard which has got an perforations, any kind of a plasterboard, plain plasterboard, it will all reflect sound. But when it comes to this perforated plasterboard, you can see like this, which is with the perforated one. This always it absorbs the sound. It cut down the echo. This brings you speech intelligibility. Same plasterboard, but which will give you a lot of acoustics, in terms of absorption. So this has to be designed in an application. You can raise the queries whenever you want. We can design this system and offer you. So this comes along with the system. It can be used in the ceilings, it can be used in the drywalls, it can be used in the wall panelings, correct? For good room acoustics. This is an plasterboard, which is what do you call? It's a high performance plasterboard. This doesn't have a paper liner. When we make a plasterboard, it has got calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water and enclosed in heavy duty paper liners. Outside and like top side and the back side there are paper liners. But here, this is a secure glass mat sheeting or a dry star sheeting, that is the name of the product. But this is what with a glass fleece. This can be used in any kind of a wet area application. But whenever you want to clad a stone in a bathroom, heavy stone like a 19 millimeter thing, we recommend an adhesive, and this can bear the load. Correct? So you can use this in the bathrooms, wet area applications, kitchen areas, your hospitals. This has got an additional feature of mold and mildew free. Good for your kitchen areas, good for your areas which are like more prone to like leakage or something, something of that sort. Then we have got all the metal profiles. Now all the metal profiles, and for all the plasterboard, we have got an EPD qualification. For the metal profiles, we manufacture this metal profiles for drywalls as for the ceiling, because this is a structure which has to be made where plasterboard is secured. This is the jointing compound. Whenever two plasterboard meets, we can do a jointing finishing to us. We can give a seamless finish. And plasterboard, gypsum plasterboard is the only plasterboards which can be finished to a seamless finish. Any kind of a finish. It can take a curve. It can take any kind of an, apart from ornamental sealing, this can be finished to a seamless finish. These are access panels. This will play a very, very important role when we use these ceilings as a sustainable solution. Any kind of a services which passing above the ceilings, we can create an access panel, and these can be this is a very easy way to take out we can create that space to go up and create any kind of maintenance, which are for the services above the ceiling. Very, very easy to fix. This is all made up of plasterboard and metal profiles. These are performance assembly. Now, this is the subject, dry construction application. Any kind of a building, when you talk about a plasterboard, you have to choose a plasterboard, like a moisture resistant plasterboard, fire, acoustic plasterboard, and the framework, which is a non-structure framework. Right? The jointing finishing, the insulation, and the accessories. You will get a desired performance. Now, desired performance is like what? Fire, acoustics, your structure performance, your carbon ratings. Correct? This is very, 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 very important to understand that all the drywalls, there are n number of drywalls, all the drywalls have been tested, and these are very lightweight construction techniques. It can be used in any applications, any kind of a building types. Like see here, this is a typical construction. When you take a stud, this is a metal stud, and these are floor channel. Left side, this is a plasterboard, and the right side, there's a plasterboard, and in between, there's a cavity. That is a single layer drywall. Now, single layer drywall can go up to 8 feet height. Similarly, in a double layer height, there are 2 layers on the left side, 2 layers on the right side. Now, you can choose the plasterboard, moisture resistant plasterboard, fire, a combination of FRMR or multi-stop plasterboard, any kind of plasterboard. Or when you tile it, you need a dry star, with a plasterboard with a fleece. So any kind of and then the third one is a twin framework, where you take 2 separate frameworks, tie up with a frame in between, as in it acts like a cavity. So it gives you very sound thermal insulation. Then you also design shaft walls where the lift moves. You don't have to construct a brick block wall construction around the lifts, where the lift moves in a, like, or the capsule moves up and down, correct? We can design the buildings with a shaft walls. So whenever your lift comes, whether it's a hospital or healthcare or any educational sector where the lift meets, you can encase it with a shaft walls, and that shaft walls gives you 2 hours of fire resistance. It complies to National Building Code as well. Sustainable solution, it meets all the codes as well. It can take any kind of curved walls. We can fit, because we have got a jointing compound, it can be finished, it can be curved walls. It can be used in a wet area application. We can tile it. We can use 19 millimeter thick marbles or thick marbles on it. Whenever we design. This is the selection criteria for a fire resistant. Whenever you design a building or any kind of a building with dry walls, you need to ask what kind of a fire resistance you need. Apart from the energy innovation, what kind of fire? Acoustics, maximum height, you can go 8 feet, 10 feet, because all the dry walls can be designed up to 16 or more than 16 meters. Seismic criteria. You can be what weight, what kind of a weight it is, because you are constructing on a lightweight construction or at you're getting a mezzanine floor. The thickness of the drywall, because space is a major consideration. Finishes, and like tiles, paints, wallpapers, what kind of finishing? So similarly, this drywalls is very, very important. The selection criteria is important. Similarly, the false ceilings, linings, and the beam and column encasement systems. Wherever the steel comes, like here is the steel beam, we can cover and give a fire protection from all the 4 sides. So the reason is that in any kind of building, whether hospital, healthcare, IT sector, education, whatever building, even a temple, or a religious space, you don't need a wet construction. It's all hollow construction, dry, lightweight construction, very, very fast, no usage of sand, cement, water, minimum amount of water, and you get us. That's where we call it sustainable solutions. We have done a lot of study along with Year GRIHA, so that we can provide you the numbers, and that gives you low embodied energy and high sustainable building solutions. Very, very fast to read. And also there is a report which you can refer to, that it says that how much is the amount of savings we have on the construction side in terms of labor and time savings. Why gypsum is so effective in fire? This is like, as I told you, calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water. That is very, very important. When 2 molecules of water comes into play, when there's a fire, it converts into steam and it stops the spread of fire. So that's where the gypsum is so effective in fire. I will also show you, like, this is also, you can design it when you don't keep it in the mind that the brick wall, you can hang anything, like a calendar, your picture, or any kind of a TV, LCD, or anything. Gypsum drywalls, we have got fasteners and fixtures, which can be just punctured into the board. There's a technique, and you can hang any amount of load. Right? So there is 2 ways. The one is known as planned loading, when you design things. Now, exterior is something. Yeah, we'll talk about the exterior wall solutions. Now, exterior is something which is on the exterior side of the building. It is which makes the building envelope. So we have got the product is aqua panel cement board outdoor. That is an exterior wall solutions. But it can be used for the facade walls, the curtain walls, exterior ceilings, and wall technology. This is a typical building of ITC Kohinoor in Hyderabad, where you can see all the ground portion. There is no brick block wall construction. You can even see the ground portion here. It is all cementitious board. Now, when we say cementitious board, then the cementitious board outside is a framing, outside is a cementitious board, inside can be plaster board. So that forms a complete wall. Correct? So, we see the balcony, the coverings or the porch areas, all these are with drywalls, exterior drywalls. Now, this can be designed for taking, it takes care for all the atmospheric conditions, rain, water, seismic, kind of wind zones, all this. So this is a complete solution, and it gives you, apart from sustainable solution, it is a fire acoustics. Now this is a product. Product name is Aqua Panel. It's a cementitious panel. It is got a fiber mesh on both the sides with a Portland cement in between as a core and edge. It's very, very flexible. Except an ornamental one, this can take a curve, and this fits into the architect's imagination. Like you see here, this can be easily curved. like a 3 meter radius, 1 meter radius, correct? It can be easily taken, it bends like a paper. It fits into the architect in very easy to cut with a knife, and this forms a wall. We can create a wall. Inside can be plasterboard, the outside can be these are the vertical member, the steel stud, the insulation, and outside are 2 layers of aqua systems, and then there is cementitious coating of plaster from outside, and it is gets ready for paint. So outside, if you see, you will see unless and until you touch it or you knock it, you will not get a hollow sound. You will never come to know it's a solid construction or it's a hollow construction. Like here, this is because this is typically an exterior solution. These are all the vertical members as studs. These are the building paper or the vapor barrier membrane just as a protection. When something as it is in the exterior, any kind of condensation, it breathes. And this is how it is finished. So this is the exterior ceilings. The exterior ceilings, any kind of building, the exterior ceilings, this can also be designed for all kind of building. Apart from all the other performance parameters, and it can be designed for exterior wind pressures as well. In this, you see here, it can take a curve. It bends like an aqua panel, the boards and the plaster boards, or this is drywalls and ceilings. So these are the I was talking about you on the Terry and Griha, the study we did it. It says that when you design the buildings with aqua panel systems inside plasterboards, the HVAC energy consumption is 12.42%. Their savings are there. Right? The construction cost is 29% lower than the normal construction of our old conventional system like big block or construction. Execution time is 18% faster. Water consumption and CO2 emission is 19% less. This is a kind of this is a sustainable solution in the exteriors as well as interiors from Gulf India. And the rest is the modular ceilings, which can be like mineral fiber tiles, lightweight acoustical ceilings. For the healthcare, like metal ceiling tiles, we have got a whole range of metal ceiling panels, perforated and plain, for your wet area applications or some critical applications, where it requires less metal. These are and more from the aesthetic point of view, metal ceilings. These are the grids, and this is gypsum plaster. Gypsum plaster is something where you don't need, if you're creating a brick block wall, you don't need a sandstone plaster because it doesn't need any water or sand. It's a complete sustainable energy savings are here. So that's a gypsum plaster. And then this is all we do. Train people, equip people, people like you, people like me, we have a facility to train people. That's where the Kanauf range of products are there. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sipalji, for giving us a brief and detailed, points of how drywall construction wall is created. I would, also take this, opportunity, Sipalji, to ask few questions which I believe the participants, the students might be, facing as an architect. There is always a paradigm or a mindset that we have, that drywall constructions are not safer and securer as compared to a red clay brick or a solid wall. How does, this question, is something, which we can, break this in terms of the safety of any particular structure when it comes to drywall construction?
See, that's a very nice question, and good question for a beginner. But see, there are when you are using it on the interior side, in all the interior drywalls, these are first of all environmental friendly, but quite safe in terms of when you talk about using it in the hospitals or school areas or any kind of a working space. These are sustainable. So this adds to sustainability, and this is completely safe because the gypsum comes from Mother Earth. And it is calcium sulfate with 2 molecules of water. And gypsum is used in many other, in dental plasters, even in the some kind of drinks, come from the some in the eatables also. Also in the cement industry uses gypsum as a byproduct or as a filler. So gypsum plasterboard is quite safe, but as far as environment is concerned. But when you talk on the safety of the buildings, somebody can typically in India when somebody can enter into the house. On the exterior side, somebody wants to enter from the exterior side of the buildings. So it is not so easier. What we think? We have done a study where it takes like 17 blows if you hit it on a plaster board, continuously at the single spot, then it will break, and then you get a hole, and then there is a cavity construction, and then you move to the other side, and again then you have to hit it on the same side to it. So it's very difficult to penetrate from a plasterboard drywall. Correct? To make it safer, we have got solutions. We can put like wire mesh on both the sides or steel sheets. So it becomes almost like a safe, yeah. It's like a safer one as a solid construction. So that is also a solution. But typically, I've also seen like a number of places people have this in mind that it's easy to break, but it's not so easy to break, and you can just pass through that. So it's quite safe.
Right, right. So I believe, this myth that everyone has, and most of us have, that drywall, when we talk about drywall construction, they can be easily penetrated. That is not so how it looks.
Yeah.
Zipali, the other question that I had was that you talked about fire safety, you talked about moisture resistance. Is there anything on the termite part, that how termite proof are these boards?
See, there is now there's a whole theory which evolves around the termite, as far as wood is concerned. Now, gypsum as a plaster wood, this has got a calcium sulfate and there's a paper liner. If there are like eatables thrown, that's my knowledge and experience goes. So when there are eatables thrown, or it is very, very like close to wood, which is not a seasoned one, right? There is also a possibility, there is a great possibility that the termites can enter into the plaster and they will try to eat the paper liner. Okay? But there are plaster boards, we say like a dry star, which is with a glass fleece. Those are like tested for termite, the mold and mildew free. But if it is on its own, it doesn't attract termite plaster boards.
Okay.
Right? Because today's modern buildings are like termite free. Right? You don't have to worry on that because it's a steel structure. It's like hospitals they don't smell like hospital today.
Correct.
Right? But if it is, I've seen it. If it is put in like if it is close to many for a long period of time, and there is a lot of seepage or something, and it's close to wood, then there are possibility then the termites will try to attack the plasterboard if it is like that. Correct? But once it is installed, it's painted, the chances are very, very minimal.
Very minimal. Okay. There is also one concern that usually as an architect we face is about dampness and mold growth. So how is this, something which has been catered in drywall construction, which is a very massive problem usually in, normal walling systems that we have?
See, that's always I tell the architects, that's a good question, and this is question which needs to be better. First of all, I will tell that in India, we know Knauf knows plasterboards much more than anybody else. Number two is that we don't have to make water storage tanks out of your plasterboards. Now, even if you use a moisture resistant board, we don't call it a water repellent plasterboard or a water resistant plasterboard. It's a moisture resistant plasterboard. You cut a plasterboard and dip it into water for 2 hours plus minus 1 minute. It will only absorb less than 5% of water by weight. But the reason is that never use plasterboard to isolate the dampness. Never use plasterboard. That will be more foolish thing to use. If the leakage is there, seepage is there in the building, you have to rectify, go to the root cause and rectify. But I have seen buildings like interior spaces where there is lot of fungus and mold growth. Even the mineral fiber tiles or the plasterboard surface of the wood, which has been treated, there is an antimicrobial character with the properties, but still it has got a fungus. You have to understand that the fungus comes from where. If any kind of building element is like it remains wet for a prolonged period of time, and there is no close circulation of it, there's a physics one. Right. Then whether in the case of wood, door, ceramic tiles, carpets, anything, it will catch fire. So, but to design that, we have to address that solution. We have got a product known as Dry Star, which is with a fleece. This has been timely tested for anti-mold.
Okay.
This gives you anti-mold properties. Right? You don't have to paint with an anti-fungal paint, but it doesn't have a paper liner. Because when it doesn't have a paper liner, it doesn't absorb those kind of like seepage or something. The chances are very, very minimal. So it is like termed as a mold and reduced resistant product.
Okay.
Apart from moisture.
About
So that can be used.
Okay.
Yeah. The material.
Right. Similarly, there's another concern as an architect we always face is about placing of doors and windows. And certainly, when we look at doors and windows these days, certainly there is a trend of using DGU glass. And in fact, in some places, people are also, now right now using TGU glass, triple glazed units also, which are very, high in weight. Their mass is very high, their dimensions are very high. So in such a kind of a scenario, can drywall take the load of these, framed aluminum structures with, DGU glass installed?
See all the drywalls, any kind of a drywall in the world, it's a non-load bearing structure, correct? So if the glass or the whole unit is resting, the load is coming on the floor, it's well and good. Otherwise, we have to have a separate kind of a framework, whether it can be designed with a tubular MS tube or a high gauge studs, like a 0.9 millimeter studs or 1 millimeter studs. But those have to be designed in such a way, whatever be the shape and size of the glass or the opening, that has to be arrested, the load has to be catered to the floor. Right? So it cannot be used like the plaster wood will not be able to take those kind of loads. So the framework has to be designed in such a way so that the aluminum and the whole structure along with the glass fits into that. And there we have designed drywalls with the doors of 200 kgs. ICC Dwarka is a live kind of project, like 250 kgs of door has been installed. Big doors, all takes that. But only thing the supporting framework has been made with a 1 millimeter GI stud.
Okay.
So that takes to the road. So that's not an issue, that's a design criteria. Like a planned and an unplanned loading, that can design while we take of the design, but yes.
But that certainly means that there are no limitations
No
in terms of
No
fixing
limits.
a door or a window or a cutout that we have to place.
No limits, yeah.
Okay. I think this is the last question that I will be throwing to you,
Yeah.
Sipati. When we talk about drywall sections or drywall construction, is it only gypsum that is there as an option, or there are other alternatives to drywall construction?
See this as an industry expert, if you ask me, like any kind of a construction which has got less of usage of water as a natural resource, like sand, cement, sand, water, and that's our drywall sustainable solution. Right? So be it like but that's your question, right? We cannot term it that gypsum plasterboard is the only
Drywall solution.
You can be like a cementitious panel, it can be a calcium silicate panel or something, but those are but then those are like the other properties are compromised in terms of finishing, in terms of seamless finish, in terms of fire resistance, in terms of acoustics, in terms of ease of construction. Plasterboard is the only product which gives you seamless finishing.
Seamless
finishing. You fix one plasterboard, 8 by 4 sheet, you cover 32 square feet in 15 meters. That's where the area in the report says it's a faster.
Right.
So we should not say that that's the only, from the design point of view, from the industry expert point of view, that's the only plasterboard is the only like a drywall. There are other products also, correct? But then when you talk about the system assemblies, fire, acoustics, performance structure, and the carpeting, plasterboard stands score much more than anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
And to the exterior facade that you talked about, the exterior facade treatment can be done in any ways. We can, fix up cladding, we can paint, we can apply any sort of screening on it. So
Yeah.
I think in terms of the exterior facade, there is no limitation.
No,
We can.
aqua panel is the only product which can be painted. Like you see the golf picture, that fits on the architect's imagination. Every architect needs his or her building to be signature building.
Right.
Anybody who passes from that, across the building. So it can be like, even if you are renovating a building,
Right.
you don't need a large kind of structure, RC structures to create fascia. You need to change the fascia.
Right.
This can be a lightweight construction and any kind of shape except the ornamental.
Right.
Aqua panel fits into the architect's imagination. We do the cementitious coating from outside, any kind of curvatures, like big hospitals. Now, and this aqua panel has served in the country for the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years. Fixed past all tropical climate. Be Kochi, Kohima, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, MP, wherever, and this passes rain or like whatever, wind, pressures, all this. So that can be designed and can be done any kind of, design or shape it can take.
It can take.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Raji. And I believe this is now the time to conclude the decoding session. And I would like to especially thank our experts from North India who have spared their time to share this intensive knowledge with us. And I believe that with the today's decoding session, I believe there were a lot of questions that you guys had with respect to your design outcomes. And I expect that this year, we're going to get a good amount of design entries at the same time with great innovations in terms of the problem that we have given you. And we are looking forward to meeting you guys at the NASA convention. If there is anything else that you wish, or if there are any certain clarities that you want to have from us, we may you may write back to us. You may refer to the GRIHA website. You may refer to North India website for more details on drywall construction. We look forward for your design entries and see you soon at the NASA convention. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This session was very insightful, and I'm sure that the students now have a better understanding of the brief. And now the questions that they had asked, most of them have been answered. And also, I would like to thank the experts for sharing essential details about drywalls. So, on behalf of the NASA India Council, I would like to extend gratitude to the GRIHA Council and the esteemed experts for hosting this session. Wishing all the best to all the participating teams, and as already mentioned, we are looking forward to amazing entries this year. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.